Chakras means wheels of energy that live in your body. They're subtle, they belong to your astral body, not your physical body. But their counterparts exist in your physical body. So, for example, if something in your emotional field is going wrong, it will react in that part of your body. And the chakra, it's called wheels of motion, because when they're all moving in the right direction, then you are in balance and in line with yourself. So, do you remember when you were little, and I don't know, maybe you guys are too young, but when we were little, can you hear me properly? Yeah. When we were little, we would have this toy with a wheel in the middle, and then you pull two sides, and all the rings would go, right? So the chakras live in a system where we have what we call the spiritual energy or kundalini sitting at the base of the spine, or right here, just in the middle of the sacrum and the front part of your body here. And coming in between them is these pathways. You don't see it in this photograph, but there's a pathway that goes like that, like two snakes, like a helix, going all the way, finishing at the nose. And they hold kind of the chakras together. This is not physically again, this is subtle anatomy, not a physical anatomy. So you imagine these two strings going up. Now, then we have a tube, which is very similar to our spinal tube, right? If you look at your spine, what's encased in your spine? Anybody? Your nervous system, right? So the spine encases the nervous system, starts from the brain, goes down back of your neck, down the spine, down to your arms, down to your legs, etc. So when the spine is shot, you basically are shot. Okay? So what it does is, so this tube comes all the way up our spine, and it's called the Shoshona. Can you say it? Shoshona. So when all these energies are balanced and not out of balance, what happens is like pulling those two strings, and all the wheels inside you are just working so well. First, let me explain. We are just machines. Sorry, guys. With a huge computer, which is called the brain. And guess what mans the brain? What mans the brain? Your thoughts, right? So if your thoughts are, and what minds your thoughts? What minds your thoughts? What minds your thoughts?
Your senses.
No, what minds your thoughts? The mind? The true self, the witness, the energy, the consciousness, what they call the big I, the higher self. Because we don't know where it is, and we don't know what it is. We just know that there is something that can watch your thoughts, correct or incorrect? Mm-hmm. So, when everything is in balance, then you feel in harmony, balance with the world. Emotionally, you're quite stable. But when things are in balance, if any of the chakras should move too fast or too slow, they cause problems in that part of the body. And if you've got an imbalance of many of them, then you have great imbalance of the mind. So they're all related to your body functions. So last week we covered the three. The root chakra, if you remember what it's called, is called Muladhara chakra. That roots you to the earth. You feel grounded. You feel strong. When you don't feel strong and grounded, you become weak. Your legs start to hurt. You have all kinds of problems like hemorrhoids and all kinds of problems in that part of the body. All right, to the lower part of the body, when you feel ungrounded. And why do you feel ungrounded? Why would you feel ungrounded? Anybody? Why would you feel ungrounded?
Your job, losing a job, your family.
Losing a job, correct? Family-wise. What else? Dad?
Not connected.
Not connected. Great, that's the next one. That's no way. Good one. But they all actually work together. They don't work separately, and I'll explain that right at the end, all right? So that's why you would feel ungrounded, okay? Your foundation is right. So that's why we have the study of the Yoga Sutras. Right? Why do I insist that study Raj Yoga? What is Raj Yoga? It's the science that uses meditation as a tool to watch your thoughts and also to live in a very moral way. So that's Muladhara Chakra. The second one is Swadhisthana Chakras, related to sexuality. And problems in that area can be great, can lead to many, many other things. Urinary disease, UTI, name some, bladder problems, kidneys, yes, anything to do with waterworks, right? Because this sweetness, it's actually, Swadhisthana means sweetness. Sexuality should be something sweet in your life, something beautiful, not prostituted. As it is today. It's a gift for the divine to enjoy this life in the purest of ways, right? So it's meant to be sweet. And when it's done with honesty and purity and love, it is like a prayer, an inner prayer. And that's when people will develop the most pleasure. But when it's quick, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of thing. You feel great in the beginning, do that 10 times, and you feel quite, I've noticed people who do this, there's lots in this world, right? Later on, maybe not that year or 2 years later, 3 years later, they lose their self-esteem, naturally. I've known people who do that suddenly, I had great fun then, but why do I feel my body's dirty now? Not one or two, but many, many people. So it's not a judgment on them. I just tell them, you didn't know better. But now you know better, let's start to build up the confidence, forgive yourself, and move forward, all right? So there's no judgment, but it can cause a lot of illness, and normally they come to me through that illness. And then when you develop that discomfort in yourself, what happens is your communication with the world gets cut off. For example, if one partner in a marriage or relationship is rejected a lot, they will lose their confidence. And when they lose their confidence in themselves, they lose their confidence to reach out to the world because they feel, I'm not good enough, I'm being rejected all the time. Okay? So if a partner, if it's an overload of activity, what happens? Your physical body gets exhausted and all the attention is on lust and sex, and there's no more energy left to use it for living anymore because your only thought is lust, lust, lust. So watch that imbalance, all right? Moderation, moderation, moderation. So next we go to the Manipura chakra, which is where we finished off last week, which is your abdomen. The color representing it is
Yellow.
Yes. And when it's not working, what do you feel? Fear. What else? Anxiety. Okay. And the anxiety, you all know the feeling of anxiety, starts from here and rises to here until you goes to here. So starts from here and then boom, 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 everything goes wrong, right? And when it goes to here, you lose your sense of reality. Totally lose your sense of reality. So this is what happens there. But it's also it's called the City of Jewels, Manipura. Its color is yellow. It is really quite incredible because if you get strong, this is the middle chakra. So if you get strong in it, you go all the way up. Then you move to the next area of the heart. You're rising. This from here downwards, we live a very material, a lot of our emotions are based on the material substances of the world, partnership, things to make you feel secure, and then, and here, willpower to carry on your mission on earth. I don't want to go forward, I can't move back, I'm scared, I don't know what to do. So these are all kind of related to the basic worldly stuff. After this, we move to the higher energy areas. Heart. What emotion is the heart?
Love.
Good. You see, you don't even have to study to know. Okay? The emotion it carries is love. So this heart area, the color that represents is green. The green of the grass, how does it make you feel? Imagine a green field. How does it make you feel?
Light.
Kind of free, light, loving. Okay, so when this chakra is not working well, what has happened to you?
You're sad.
Correct. What has happened? Heart
It's closed.
broken. Or heart closed. Yes, which is when people have a broken heart or they don't want to share themselves. They kind of walk around like that. You can feel it. They don't want to get hurt again. They're frozen. Yes, because when you lose love, you lose everything. This is the chakra where they say what lives in. The Lord of love, no larger than a thumb, lives where?
In the heart.
Okay, this is where the divine lives. The word, the name for the heart chakra is Anahata chakra. Can you say?
Anahata chakra.
And that means the sound that is not struck. Unstruck sound. So what does that mean? It's like you haven't strung, you haven't made any noise because it's so pure. The love is so pure. You move from a realm in relationships where it's all about ego and argument. But when you've gone through that and you've understood there's no one to blame, and the relationships in your life with your friends, with your families, with everyone starts to change, and the heart chakra starts to become balanced, there is a more gentle flow of love. Your love becomes peaceful. There's no need to scream and shout with at each other. There's more, it's like the unheard sound. You know, when you live with somebody for a long time, you know, or when you're in love with somebody, you can read their minds. Yes, you can feel their energy. So they just walk into the room. You know. You got it? So it's unstruck sound because you know the love encompasses, embraces the emotion of others because you're working from this space that just when it's totally in balance, it just wants to reach out. And it also looks after itself. It also loves itself. It is not self-demeaning. When your heart chakra is balanced, you will never say, I'm not good enough. You can't say it because you have started to realize that you too have been given this opportunity in the body to love. So if you keep putting yourself down, you are insulting the gift that you've been given, right? Like I said, this computer has been given to us. So if you keep insulting it, you're breaking it down. For example, I tell her, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. What am I doing to her? She'll break down, right? But we do this to ourselves, and then we blame this God, really, for doing this to us. Really? Who's done it? So if you see yourself, oh, I'm not good enough, I feel so guilty, go say sorry if you've done something wrong. And if the person's not around to say sorry to, then do it in your mind. You know, do a deep, close your eyes and focus, and then see the person that you've really hurt in your life. And in your mindset, say, I'm really sorry, forgive me. Forgive me, do it for a year, and you'll forgive yourself. Sometimes even faster. Because you're already forgiven. The only person that holds any guilt or pain is you. Because we blame ourselves. But we're really children. You know, in the course of humanity, we're really at our infancy. Look at the wars. Look at what people do to each other. Here, we're trying to make the best use of our physical gift in this room, and people who are working on this spiritual path. That's what spirituality is, to propagate the meaning of oneness, consciousness. We're all in this together, my friends, to live at a higher level so that we can bring beauty and peace to the world and harmony. Because for me, this is God, love and harmony when we connect with it in the right way. If we connect with it in the wrong way, it's hell and disaster. So it's up to us to communicate with an open heart in loving grace. Because when it's not in loving grace, it cannot work. You know, when your heart is broken, how do you feel?
Yeah.
Black, right? It's horrible. You're in a black place. That's normal. Give it time. If you have knowledge, you know time heals all, and be patient. Nothing else you can do. You can't fight the pain, you can scream at the pain, you can shout at the pain. All that will happen to you is your heart will get more and more sick. Okay? That's all that will happen. You just get more and more sick, and your mind will become more and more bitter. So the only way is to allow time to heal you. And you can only do that if you really love yourself and you believe you deserve to live well, all right? If you don't believe you deserve to be well, or you feel guilty about the loss of a loved one, then your heart can never heal. Your heart can never heal. It was their time to go. You have to accept, we all go one day, and because this is where I see the most heartbreak, okay, the most damage to heart. We all have to go, and you're all going to suffer when your partner goes. I'll tell you, it's horrendous. But you know, say what Shakespeare does. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Got it? And celebrate the life of the person who's passed. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. In their honor. Be happy. He said, in their honor, I'm going to be miserable. Do you think they'll be happy up there? No. Oh my God, stop being miserable. I'm flying up here in spirit. I don't have a body to feel the things you're feeling. And here we're just, oh, so bad. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. The heart breaks down. You get sick. You get very, very sick. So look after that heart, okay? The color is green, like I said. And what was I going to tell you? Yes, it controls your heart, your lungs. So asthma comes from that area as well. And your arms. When you're in love, what do? And that's why when people are depressed, you know what I tell them to do? I love my life. Can you do it? I love my life. You see, you can hug the person you love. Please do. And then you open up. And the first thing, and the first thing you want to do is hug. You want to love. When you're in love, you want the whole world to be in love with you. All you need is love, right? Good. Great chorus. Everybody knows the Beatles. So, and how many songs have been written about love? Nearly every other song is about love, right? And nearly every other song is about heartbreak. So you see how incredible love is in our life. So that chakra, if you've got heartbreak, the only way to heal it is serve, love, give. There's a story about a woman who, she lost her husband, and she was like in deep depression for 2 years. Didn't want to meet anyone. She had a lot of money, but she stayed in the house, no joy. Now one day she was looking out of her window and she saw, this is in India, and this is a true story, and she saw 2 children by the dustbin looking for food, really poor and tacky clothes. And in her heart, oh my God, I'm living in this house and these kids have nothing. So she ran out. She forgot herself. She forgot her pain for that second, because compassion rose in her. And she saw those children. She just ran without thinking. Oh, let me give you a bath and let me look after you and let me get you new clothes. In that service, she totally forgot her pain. And guess what? She ended up opening a huge orphanage and looking after kids and became one of the happiest women ever. So, do you see, this is the healing. That's why all the saints and sages talk about serve, love, give. It's actually very, very selfish. Really, when you make yourself happy, you heal yourself. Because when we're all self-engrossed, I, me, mine, we become toxic. So the sound for the heart is yum. Can you say yum?
Yum.
Okay, now I just want to tell you about this sound, because some books you'll read, don't get confused, because that's where I got very confused in the beginning, will say the sound is hum. Some will say yum. So doesn't matter, it's sound. It's yum. And some say that this is yum, hum, and om. And other books would say this is hum and om. All right? You will see different people will feel it differently. Sometimes I feel this as yum, and sometimes I feel it as hum. So what rows your boat, rocks your boat. What's the statement? What rocks your boat, right? Yeah. Rock the boat, baby. Yeah, don't rock the boat, baby. Yeah. So I must have the spirit of music today with me. So that's love. When you open up your heart to the world in love, and you are balanced in this area, this little chakra starts to be active. And whatever desire you've had, maybe even quietly, you've never said it to anyone because you thought it's never going to happen to you, it's not going to exist, those desires will be fulfilled, whether you like it or not, and abundantly to you. So you can see when you come to this path, when you start to serve with great love, everything you need really does come. It does come. Because you know why? There's not the grasping. I desire, I have to have it. If I don't have it, I'm not happy. It'd be nice, but I'm happy anyway. Do you see? Then that chakra opens up because there's no grasping, there's no possession. It will give you what you want. And that's why, as you think, you become and you will obtain in your life. But before you get all those gifts, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all its righteousness. God, let's call the divine consciousness or energy. It's just words, right? Just words. It's great dynamic energy. Seek that first, and all else will be added to you. This is this chakra that opens up and gives you whatever you want. Before you come to that point, there's a lot you have to go through as a human being. It's a journey. This is a journey of the soul. There's going to be a lot of pain you're going to go through. And your reaction to pain is what opens this chakra. Because you can fight, scream, shout, and the chakra will remain closed. But if you accept pain for purification, as Sri Patanjali tells us, I don't like this feeling, but you know what? It's the way it is. It's just the way it is. Sometimes things are just the way they are. You know, you can fight, not going to change it. So when you can accept it, then this chakra becomes your gift. And that's the heart chakra. And it's called Anahata. Can you say? Anahata. And it means unstruck sound. And its job is to love. You said it before. I thought you were quite clever. I got it now. And the element is air. Okay? So when your heart is broken, what happens? Stop breathing. Oh, anxiety attacks. I'm action. But what's troubling here? Where's your grounding? Look there. What's happened in your grounding? What's happened in your relationship with the world, or sexual relationship? What's happened in your mission that's caused this, I can't breathe, disturbed dreams? When a dream is, when you have a goal in life and maybe you have a dream, kind of many people tell me this, I thought when I got married it'd be happy ever after. It's work ever after. But it's good work. Better than no work. But it is work. It is work. It's not like, oh my God, it's so easy, you know? So disillusionment and not understanding the scheme of life and all these things that, you know, all these ups and downs are there to teach us, then what happens is all the chakras do break down. And if you keep angry and keep your anger here, then nothing is ever going to function. So you can start meditating. I want to be good, do good. And there that chakra is going, are they not happy? I need this to be happy. Do you see? You're fighting yourself. You're not going to move forward. You're fighting yourself. Because you're still, I want, I need, I attach. Now we go to the next one, which is the throat. The color is?
Blue.
Blue is also the color of healing. When you think about healing, you always think about the color blue. What verb would you use for this throat? I what? Here's I love. Here is?
I am express.
I speak, yes. Good. I love. I speak. Okay, it comes from your voice box. I speak. It governs your thyroid, your parathyroid, also your thymus gland sometimes, but it's also shared with the heart chakra. Okay, that gland gets smaller and smaller as we get older and older. So this one is I speak, and it's emotional issues. Communication. If you speak too much and never stop, you got an imbalance in that chakra. Okay? Do you know people like that? Talk. And you actually want to say, please, it's too much. Do you know that? Have you felt that sometimes? Yeah. So please, I can't take anymore. Please keep quiet now. Right? Talk too much, imbalance, because no awareness of the people around you. Talk too little, you're not expressing yourself also. You need to express yourself as well. If you hold back your expression, you've got sore throat, I want to speak but I can't, right? And that's where the throat really hurts you. It is also, it doesn't say it here, it also is connected with your inner ear or your sense of intuition. All right? Because as you speak, when you speak, you share with the world an expression. When you hold back the speech to listen, your intuition grows. So it's really important to speak what is true, what is beneficial, and to speak in tranquility and in peace. And when you don't speak, it is important to listen and not think while you're listening. And this chakra then becomes totally balanced. Because 99% of the people I meet, I'm talking to them, I'm actually saying something quite important, but they're thinking so much that they've lost 50% or 90% of what I've said. That's why I'm here for so many years. Some of the hatha practices helps us to focus, because we get a lot of intuition when we focus, right? And then you are reading beyond the words. This is what a yogi should do. So somebody is talking to you and they may be saying all kinds of things because they want you to hear it. But it's not what they think. It's not what they feel. So if you learn to listen well, you will listen to the words, but you'll see the depth of the emotion in the words. All right? This is why in relationships there are so many arguments. People are half listening, and you always hear the other partner say, "But you didn't hear what I..." Don't they always say that? You didn't hear what this is not what I said. Yes, you did say it. No, but I didn't mean it that way, but you said it, you know. But you didn't hear the rest of what I said. It happens all the time, right? Because we're not being intuitive. We're too busy telling people what we think, how we are right, that we're not listening to what they're trying to tell us. The moment they say one sentence, they've already been hung. No more chance. So make sure, this is a very important chakra. Words are so powerful. They can destroy you or they can make you. So try and always be truthful. And if you can't be truthful because the person that you want to tell the truth to is not ready, step aside for a bit, be a little patient, and when you see you got a good moment, they're in a good mood, they're able to receive, then you tell them the truth. You see, the problem is when we see something going wrong with life, we want to tell them right here, right now. Well, maybe right here, right now, just because you want to unload is not right here, right now for that person. It could be the wrong time. Oh, I just wanted to tell them the truth. Yeah, good, you did, but wrong time. Wrong time. You tell somebody something at the wrong time, they're going to get very hurt. And this is why the grounding, ahimsa, non-violence. If you're well grounded in non-violence and truthfulness, you will know when to say what. You say it too quickly, you really can hurt somebody so badly. So when this is unbalanced, like when I talk too much, that's why I use mics all the time, then what will happen? Yeah, lose your voice, and these are the kind of overuse. You lose your voice. Underuse, you also get sick. You get very sick. People who don't express what they feel really, really suffer later on in their lives. I've seen this many, many times. I've met many people who keep a lot of things inside. Quite a lot of men do this. It's the kind of thing that men do because they've been brought up to, oh, don't express yourself. Boys don't cry. Well, a lot of nonsense on boys and men, human beings too. Right? So they're so used to, that's why they've heart attacks or the strokes, because all this is related, this area. And it's all inside, because they're not expressing themselves. They think to express yourself is weakness. It's not. It's a show of strength. So it's not weakness. Express yourself. You know, if you're not feeling good about something, say it. Don't expect people to read your mind. Not everybody's a mind reader, right? Say it. Say it at the right time. Say it gently. Say it kindly, but express it. But I've noticed that later on in their lives, people who don't express their feelings, what happens is the body has got so much trauma that they normally have a breakdown. And it's a terrible breakdown. It's not easy. It takes months to fix. Now we move up to the next chakra, which is known as the third eye, and which is also your spiritual eye. Now you're moving to the dimension now of space. And what would the element of this one? What energy? I think. Correct. You see, you don't have to study if you understand it. If you just put your hands, ooh, why did I forget? Right? There, it's telling you, why did I forget? Oh my God, what a headache. It's all the thoughts, right? This is the area of I think. As I think, I become. It is also connected, if you make a straight line like this, through there, and across, in between, in the middle, there's the pineal gland, and below it, the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is responsible for all the hormones coming down to the body, and the pineal gland is, most people are realizing now that it's related to your connection with the other dimension. Or some people in the Reader's Digest once call it the God spot in the brain. Okay? It's also associated with ESP, extrasensory perception, where you just know certain things. And when this chakra, of course, what is it related to? When it's not functioning? Intuition, eyes, you said. But I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to see headaches. Got a bad headache. Nightmares. All the thoughts are jumbled up. And when it's balanced, you have goals, dreams, those thoughts in love. So now we're going downwards. Those thoughts that are beautiful and voiced and projected in love allows you to have your mission in life with a sweet relationship and grounded for the earth to benefit. All starts with the thought. Okay? We're given this thought to live to love, love to serve, our motto. So fill your goals, business ideas, computer ideas, whatever ideas. Those goals should bring our earth together in music, song, dance, art, technology, whatever it is, science, whatever you decide to do in your life, they should always have this bigger goal. And then you need to build up the courage to follow it. You have to face your fear. And why does fear come in? What if it doesn't work? Yeah, you see? You're getting it? What if it doesn't work? If you don't try, you don't know. I always think the worst thing for a human being to do is to look at a fork of a road, and I've seen myself in this position in the past when I was younger, many times, and it's horrible. Should I? Should I do this or should I do that? Should I do? And you can sit for months and you are frozen. Take one road. My master always said, if you make a mistake, you can turn back and take the other one. But at least you took a road. Even if it's wrong, you did it. Even if it doesn't work, you can always say, I did it, and I realized that wasn't for me. Much better than the fear that cripples you, and you stay there frozen and stuck and do nothing with your life. And I've seen many lives go like that. Huh? What a waste. What a waste. I said, if you're given the gift, you can use it. Why do you have to be famous? You can use it with your family. You can use it with your friends. You can just use it where you are, simply. Oh no, but I want to get up to there. Good, you will, but you have to start from the bottom up, right? Everybody wants to open this new business. I want to be rich in a year. Got to work hard. Got to put your effort in. So, but you need to follow those dreams. And if the mind is filled with these lovely thoughts and lovely dreams, and all the chakras would like to help you, and then the kingdom of heaven opens up for you. Okay, when you're not working, you lose the ability to focus and look at the bigger picture. Your world becomes really small, all right? Your thoughts are just, oh my God, this small world. And you forget about the bigger picture. And that's when you really get depressed. And that's when people get into depression, yeah, this is what happens. People get into depression, their world becomes very small. Have you noticed? Mm-hmm. They just want to stay at home, locked up, and the whole time it's, I'm anxious, I'm fearful. I don't know, what if this happens to me? Gurudeva says so many eyes and the minds will all break up. The minds will just blow up. So, yeah, watch this. When your world becomes small, you're starting to go into a kind of a depression. Widen it, meet happy people, go out there, inspire yourself, watch the bigger picture of the world, watch some TED Talks on YouTube. There's so many things you can do to help yourself, to lift yourself from yourself. Don't allow yourself to stay stuck. And because it can cause great depression. Yeah, so the pineal gland is considered the God spot, and this is where discriminative discernment comes from. The ability to make decisions very clearly, because your thoughts are clear, your goals are not narrow and small, but broad and great, and full of service, and there, creation on earth starts through us as instruments of the divine. Because that's what we are, instruments. As St. Francis said, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is darkness, let me bring light. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is sorrow, let me bring joy. Right? These are the things, bigger goals, and then your life's work will be shown to you, whatever it may be, in whichever direction you may want to go. Don't be afraid if your direction is so different from everybody else. You know, somebody said to me, I'd love to be a gardener. So what's wrong with that? Follow it. Yes, you may not be rich, but you'll certainly be happy, and you'll fulfill that goal, and the chakras will love it. But if you're stuck in an office and you want to be a gardener, can you imagine the years of blocked energy that you are building in your body? The years of frustration, the years of anger, and that frustration and anger will be brought out to the people who live around you, and you'll be angry with yourself that you are feeling the way you are. But it's only because the soul in your body is talking to you and you're not listening. You need to listen. That's all. And then finally, we reach our destination. Sahasrara chakra. The 1,000 lotus chakra, which means you connect with everything there is. And this is the center of I am. I know and I am. I know, so I am. I am and I know I am. Who are you? I am that I am. I know. Okay? So that's why it's 1,000 petals. The 1,000 petals just opening up to the sun or the universal energy and asking it to protect it. So this is the crown chakra, the highest chakra, the ability to be connected with the divine, the very top of your head, inner and outer beauty. This is the chakra of bliss, connection with what they call the gods, visions of God. When this chakra is open, you connect it with the divine. You have visions of God. And I'm sorry, I realize it's pretty late. All the chakras work together. When one is misplaced, all of them kind of go, it's kind of like that thing. Yeah, they all have to work in tune. It doesn't mean this is better and this is worse. If, for example, the crown chakra is open and you're connecting with the gods, but you're not grounded, you've got problems on earth. And I have met people like that. I have met people who are so connected all the time. Oh, I'm connected with this spirit and that and God, but they can't live on earth. They just have no time. They're not living on earth. They're living in the gunas or the spirit world. Yeah, and they become very, like she said, airy-fairy. They can't deal with life, and everything is God's fault and God's doing. So they all work together. One is not working, the other is not working. So, should you go for chakra healing or not, which is the question? My answer is what my master said. Please don't play around with these things too much. Instead, intuitively learn about yourself. Where your physical problems, you can relate to it. Where am I always getting, which area? So what am I not getting? What am I not seeing in myself that I think I'm perfect, or I think I'm not perfect? What am I not getting about myself? So you use chakras, as I use them, to find myself, to discover where was it, like in the early days, was always stomach aches, fear, and then throat pain in the early days, when I didn't like something that my husband was doing, I wouldn't say, I get angry. Wrong medicine, do you see? So I learned, it's me, it's not him. I'm using the wrong medicine. I need to use the right medicine to express how I feel. Spirituality cannot be found by intelligence. It can be only found by experience. I mean, the greatest thinkers, Ramana Maharishi, was illiterate. He was illiterate, and yet he was grounded, and his chakra was wide open. So these things can only be realized by the mystic. And here we're all mystics, really, because we're taking the path of meditation and going within. What is a mystic? A mystic is one who will go within to discover the powers of the divine and use it to serve the world. So really, we are all mystics. We don't deal in the occult. We know all that exists. You don't want to get involved in that, because you can get into many traps. I want to learn about this chakra. Then you think so much. Then you start judging everybody according to yourself. Do you see? You can't. So just work on yourself. I think it's really important to look after yourself first. This is the whole thing. If you're in the field of service, and all of us here in this room are, look after yourself first. Look after your own emotions well. Take care of yourself. Because when you look after yourself, then only can you look after the world.